Hey guys, Matt here, and I just want to take a second to invite you out to a special stream event I'm going to be hosting on the 12th of December at 4 p.m. PST, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be doing a fundraiser on behalf of StackUp.org, a charity to benefit active and veteran military here in the U.S. and allied forces. So if you get a chance, stop on by twitch.tv/captain_archer around that time. Just say hi, or if you can, donate a few bucks. Thanks. See you there.
Welcome to the Legion Outriders podcast, your source for the latest Legion news, opinion, and analysis. And now, the Outriders.
Hello, Outriders! Matt, Dan, and John here with you today in a post-Black Friday stupor, although apparently none of us did any Black Friday stuff. How's it going, guys?
Good. Small Business Saturday.
It is Small Business Saturday, that's right.
And Cyber Monday was coming up now, so I'm sure by the time we hear this episode, you'll see some awesome deals online.
Yeah. Did everybody have a good Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was great, yeah. Just probably just getting over the turkey-itis right now.
Sure. It's not just your normal lethargy that's creeping up there.
Just blame it on the tryptophan, man.
Oh, yeah, right.
No, unfortunately, as my work is, connected to a casino, I had to work.
Yeah, it was busy. Holly and I did what we usually do and went down to Caesars for Thanksgiving.
Oh, you didn't swing by?
I didn't. Well,
okay.
So I might sound a little different. I actually just had hernia surgery a couple days ago, so I'm a little bit tender still. But yeah, I was literally the day before Thanksgiving, I was in for the surgery, and it went very well. But yeah, I wasn't about to drag myself around the casino to try and come and find you, Dan. So I was thinking of you. I had very positive, feelings in your general direction as I limped towards the car to go home.
I mean, you finally had a legitimate medical reason to have one of those scooters. You could have just buzzed your way through the casino halls.
Did I miss a giant opportunity?
You
there?
really did. Yeah.
I did.
You could have been eccentric old man on the scooter just yelling at people to get out of the way.
Can I shake a cane at them?
I mean, it's required.
Oh, okay.
It's
man,
obligatory.
Maybe next time. But yeah, it was good. We went down there and we went to our usual spot. Turned out they didn't do a holiday menu this year. It's very sad. So we had beef Wellington for Thanksgiving, which is, shucks.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah.
Is that even first world problems?
Yeah, it is. I don't even know. It's like 1% problems or something. I don't know. But anyways, we got some news to talk about. A couple of things we've gotten our eyes on for since the post-RRG and holidays coming up and all that. But Dan, why don't you go ahead and kick us off there, bud?
Well, I hate to start on what most people would consider to be kind of somber news for Star Wars.
How about let's just keep it a neutral tone? How about that?
Neutral tone. And it wasn't actually heavily announced. It was just kind of let out there into the newsverse that Kathleen Kennedy's contract, which was up just in the end of October there, has been announced that it's been renewed for 3 more years.
Yeah, that's a thing. That happened.
That did happen. Okay. Moving on.
So, well, we were talking before the show, they're not going to straight up fire her. So they're just going to say, hey, let her move on or retire or anything like that. It's just way too much bad PR for Disney to try and take her out.
Yeah, I mean, hiring her for 3 more years might have not been great PR either. But...
Well, we'll have to wait for the next investor call to see if anyone calls in about that again, but that should be interesting to listen to. But yeah, Ahsoka cast Natasha Liu Bordizzo, I probably mispronounced that, for Sabine
I'll never
Wren.
know.
Yeah. I have not actually seen any of her work before.
I haven't either. I mean, going just based on the look of the actress compared to the look of the character, I think she could pull it off. Looks
That's
like
cool.
it.
Wasn't the one I picked, but it'll do, I guess.
Who did you pick?
Remember Altered Carbon? Did you see Altered Carbon?
I did not.
Oh.
I didn't see Altered Carbon.
Wow.
So someone from Altered Carbon. There you go.
Yeah, the sister in there. I think she would have been amazing for that. But anyways.
Yeah, but I mean, it follows the trend of, the relative recent trend of Star Wars to kind of pick up relatively unknown people.
Yeah.
And kind of put them in these roles. So
I wouldn't say she's really well known, but you should watch the first season of Altered Carbon.
I mean, that's a whole other podcast, but all right.
Okay. All right.
Rogue Squadron, which was supposed to come out in 2023, was the next Star Wars movie on the slate, has been put on indefinite delay. They cited Patty Jenkins, who is the director, that their schedule was kind of the reason it wouldn't work out because she's currently working on Wonder Woman 3 and another production.
Oh boy.
Here's a hint: Wonder Woman is not as good as Star Wars. Let's prioritize our franchises properly.
They had approved Wonder Woman 3 even before Wonder Woman 2 came out.
Yeah.
So that was already in the books for them. So
I don't know. After the last Wonder Woman, I'm kind of like, well, maybe we just find somebody else. I don't know.
So, I mean, there's some moviepoopshoot.com things saying that it's potentially creative differences, but they're going for the PR thing of, the schedules aren't lining up.
Do they even have a script yet?
In development is what the current knowledge is.
All right. Anyways.
Yeah, because it was supposed to start production real soon just to make it by 2023. So.
Yeah, no kidding.
But that's it for media news, but we do have some parks news. They had the Destination D23, which unfortunately they didn't talk about any media stuff at all of this. It was entirely parks news. So they did talk a lot about Galactic Star Cruiser.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Prior to the D23, they did release a lot of the character bios for all of the, I hate to call them NPCs, but the
cast members.
The cast members who you'll be interacting with, the captain, the engineer of the ship, the First Order commander who's going to be around there. Some interesting little bios there. They hinted that a lot of things will tie into other experiences in Galaxy's Edge, like they said that the galactic superstar that you're supposed to be meeting is actually on a secret mission looking for
Spoilers.
Coaxium. Yep. Spoilers. So I'm sure whatever you do at Smuggler's Run will tie into that.
Ooh.
But yeah, the Disney Parks Experiences and Products Chairman Josh D'Amaro, his title is really friggin' long, posted a video on Twitter of him trying the lightsaber dojo, doing the bridge shooting at TIE fighters coming in. It was basically like Missile Command. You move a little reticle around, just tap a button to shoot things. Okay. So.
I'm gonna own at that game.
Well, it's like in Galaxy's Edge when you're on the X-wing and you're basically like you're one of three positions and basically you just tap a flashing button
Falcon,
over and over.
The Falcon,
the Falcon. Sorry,
But the Galactic Star Cruiser has been doing test runs of their of the whole production. Some media and Disney employees have been invited. Of course, no photos or video were allowed in it, but some of the reports have been leaking out. IGN was on there. They did say, sadly, that the retractable lightsaber that we talked about a lot about previously is only going to be in cast members' hands. It's never going to be in a guest hand.
So just a prop.
Yeah, it's just a prop, which makes sense. I mean, we looked at the schematic for that thing. It looks fragile as hell. So
Yeah.
And the first 4 months of the Star Cruiser have already been fully booked, checking the schedule on that. So even at that price point, people are still going
absolutely. To that. You got your trunks packed there?
I mean, if I can get there before Omicron does, then yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, it's been more than 4 months out, so who knows? But that's it for the Star Wars news.
Okay. We have how many days?
Of course, yes. I've started putting it back in the schedule to make sure I can get it in.
Yeah.
As opposed to not putting it in, trying to surprise you guys. But yeah, 62 days. Ooh. So we're almost there to LVO. 2 months out.
2 full calendar months.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm wrapping up some of the last things for my table. I needed some larger, taller structures, and instead of designing it myself, I just went out and I bought a couple STLs.
Yeah, actually.
You still need to get your table painted.
Gotta start. I need to talk to you, see about what we do for filler primer on that, and maybe hit it with an airbrush one of these days so we can get it ready.
Yeah.
LJ's pinging me. It's like, okay, here's the table sign-up list, and they're going to be. I'm actually going to be helping to stage that stuff between hopefully here and Power 9 to get the tables ready to go over to the Rio.
Yeah, because we got 3 to 4 tables worth of Power 9, I believe.
I got more than that.
More than that? Oh yeah.
I just bought a printer too, 3D printer. So
I did actually get one.
I may actually put together that Felucia table I've talked about for so long that have never done.
We're running a little short on time. So.
Yeah.
You don't know how fast I paint, okay?
Well, paint, but getting your printer up and running and tuned in and dialed in and all that. We were talking about that on chat, but yeah.
I'm making no promises.
Yeah. Luckily, he's got a good friend that's full ADHD mode for that.
That's true.
Our good buddy Joe, so he could probably get him up and running with the power of
between Joe, Jeff,
monster.
Myself, you've got enough knowledgeable people in this field that can help you with that. But before then, of course, we previously talked about the New Orleans Open, but we haven't mentioned yet actually PAX Unplugged over in Philadelphia, December 10th to 12th is actually doing a Legion event, and it's being run by our good friends over at Legion 99.
Hey, fantastic.
Yeah, Keegan, of course, being on the West Coast side of things, isn't going to be present, but
He's not allowed.
well, I'm sure he would be allowed, but
No, they said no Keegans.
no Keegan's allowed. But on their own cast, they did mention how many Force Flasks are going to be there, which is quite a few.
Nice. Well, it is Philly, so you got to be careful.
But yeah, we're looking forward to both New Orleans Open and PAX Unplugged. Coincidentally, both being run at the same weekend. So right on top of each other. So there'll be a lot of news coming out of that weekend.
I'll be interested to see how the two different tournaments stack up, like list-wise, what lists are winning the tournament, what people are bringing, just to see if there's a meta that's forming yet.
Yeah, get those first feelers kind of back.
Oh, yeah. So I'm sure a lot of that's going to be a lot of forecasting for what's going to happen at LVO.
Yeah. Well, those will be the first tournaments since the new RRG, right?
Yeah, because SoCal happened literally right before it.
Right before, yeah. But speaking of metas, one of the things that's been going on here recently is a league has been going on at our favorite local game store. You guys are both playing in it. How's that been going so far?
So we both ended up in the same pod, actually.
Yeah.
So we got, what, 12? We got 12 people in the league?
12 people in the league, so we got 3 pods of 4 people.
Yeah, so Dan and I are in the same pod. We haven't played yet.
Not yet. No, we still got to... We'll schedule something soon.
Yeah.
We got
Who else do you have in your pod?
A guy named Colby and
What's he
Micah.
Both are playing droids.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah. So you've got... What are you playing, John?
So I'm running my Yoda Wookie list.
Oh, okay, so Republic.
Yep, Republic.
Okay, that's cool, that's cool.
And I'm
Dan?
running my...
Rebels, of course.
Oh, yes, of
Rebels,
course.
yeah.
Operative Vader and Iden, I've dubbed it the Infilvator. Infiltrator, huh? No, pun? No, okay.
Hey, that was a good one, Dan.
Depends what you're feeling Vader with.
Yeah. So Micah and I have already gotten a game in our pod.
How'd that go?
Interesting, actually. It was a very different experience. Not only because, I haven't played a lot of droid players, because we actually don't have a lot out here in Vegas.
I think I was one of the only ones really dabbling with droids for a while.
And then Matt, you also dabble sometimes too. So.
Yep.
But he brought Kalani, which I had obviously never played before. He had imported it from Canada. He had Kalani, 3 stabs, 4 B1 squads, and 2 B2 HAs.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that was, I'm doing my bad math in my head. That's 10 squads to match my 10. He played an interesting strategy. We ended up on Hemmed In and Breakthrough with clear conditions. So, yeah, it was a really weird turn 0.
Who was blue player?
He was blue player because he had, I believe it was 792 to my 799. So...
Interesting.
Yeah. The interesting thing was he literally ignored my heroes.
Yeah.
So much so that once Iden and Vader both crashed into his army to start meleeing up, he played, dang, I'm forgetting the name of the card, the Defensive Protocols, I believe.
Okay.
Which gives all of his droids disengage. And he literally just walked away.
Oh.
And walked past me, walked into my deployment zones, and...
I like that.
Yeah. So,
I mean, sorry, Dan, but damn, that's cool.
Yeah, that's not smart. So he ended up winning on objectives?
He ended up winning on objectives, yes. And he would have won on kills, too, because, well, I was trying to straight up, kill as many of his units as I could.
Sure.
But with, fat B1 squads and B2s.
Yeah, that's tough.
His staps just ran around my back line, nuking my snipers, nuking my my single single snowtrooper squad. Basically Vader and Iden were standing there doing the John Travolta meme of where'd everyone go?
Meanwhile, the droids are just casually moonwalking their way towards victory.
Basically, he just straight up ignored my heroes. Ended the game with Iden on 1 damage from New Ways to Motivate, and Vader on 1 damage from Implacable.
Wow.
So they...
All right.
Yeah, that's a tough sequence of different scenarios you had to play through with that.
Yeah, it was completely... I'm so used to everybody either focusing on Iden or focusing on Vader. Iden is a tank. I have her set up like a tank. Mm-hmm. She's not an offensive powerhouse in my list. But yeah, they just ignored him. I went into melee. He's like, no, defense protocols, disengage. Just keep on walking.
Now that you've seen that, do you think you'd play that differently?
I'm still trying to figure out in my head how the heck I could have played that differently.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, you get in a game like that where you look at the other person's army, you look at the set of objectives that have been picked, and you're just kind of like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this one out. Just
speaking from experience at SoCal there.
Oh yeah, I mean, I already had it in my head that I was gonna lose anyway. But but yeah, I mean, I looked at that. I'm like, bombing run. You got speeder and 2 vehicles. All right, good game, man.
Yeah.
It's good beer.
Did you get any games in yet, John?
Yeah, so I haven't played any League games yet, but I did get a game in at the Cantina event last weekend or 2 weekends ago. I played against, I can't remember the gentleman's name from our group, but one of our newer players. He was running a Cassian K2SO Jin list. And I was trying out my new Yoda Wookie list. I ended up winning. I don't remember exactly what the scenario was that we played. It was a close battle. It came down to, a few pivotal dice rolls. I think he made a couple mistakes early. He sent a unit of fleet troopers in ahead of his army, thinking he was going to be able to flank me, and then he didn't. I think he underestimated how fast the melee Wookiees run. So there was a large piece of line of sight blocking terrain that were between the two of us. Well, Yoda does his guidance and sends the Wookiees on top of the piece of terrain, and then during their turn they scramble down and then got in there and wiped out his fleet troopers. And that, I mean, he was then one activation down, turn one.
Wow.
And I think that kind of threw a wrench in his plans. He was running triple Sabs. Which
oh wow,
which was interesting. It's been a long time since I've played against somebody running Sabs, and I think with the new low profile changes, they're a good unit. It basically turned into me chasing 3 units of Sabs down with 1 unit of Wookiees, and that kind of turned things because that whole flank was broken. He wasn't able to do anything on that side. Jin K2SO and Cassian.
Were they full-size squads, or were they just strike teams?
Just the 2 strike teams.
Okay.
Just the strike teams. So he had 3 of them, and they were all kind of bunched up together. So his whole strategy became leave a bomb, run away, blow it up, and then my Wookiees would charge, wipe out one of them. The next one would drop a bomb, run away.
Gosh.
Which, I mean, it kind
There's
of...
going to be a war documentary about that in a few years. It's going to be grisly to watch.
So, I mean, it was basically, it cost me that whole unit of Wookiees to essentially shut down that flank, but I took care of his 3 Sab squads and then that fleet trooper squad. So in that sense, I mean, they got their points back.
So you guidanced the Wookiees on top of the terrain.
Yeah.
And then they just did their Wookiee thing and then engaged. So it sounds like he less underestimated the speed of your Wookiees, more that he underestimated the shenanigans that Yoda was able to pull.
So, with Yoda, like, that was the first game we got to play with him. And I'm really still trying to theory craft at this point because I haven't got enough games yet. But, people kind of poo-pooed on guidance compared to pull the strings because, like, oh, well, it's more restrictive, you can't attack. Well, you just have to know what units are available for you to get the most mileage out of with that free action. I mean, Wookiees are perfect with that because with Wookiees, you have the charge. So if you can give them a guidance and then on their turn they move and move again and then charge, I mean, 3 range 2 moves, that's the 3 speed 2 moves. It gets you off the board pretty quick, especially with scale. So, as if like this is news breaking, but
Dan's shaking his head in judgment of you.
I'm just surprised that they did not get touched on the last RG at all. Like they dodged a huge bullet there.
See, the thing is, they've always been good. Like I've always run them; they've always been a good unit. I just think people are now realizing that. The amount of wounds it takes to go through, like the versatility of having scale and charge.
And now lethal,
yeah, exactly. So I do have 1 unit of the new range Wookiees in there, and I want to see how much mileage I can get out of them. I think putting them with a bowcaster and then targeting scopes, you can get some good play with Yoda's 3-pip card, because Yoda's 3-pip card has essentially range 3 exemplar without needing line of sight. So you can put a unit of those ranged Wookiees out there, give them Overwatch and give them targeting scopes, have them sit out there, and anything that moves within range 3, Yoda can share his standby token with them. They can share dodges, they can share aims, and then they're popping, it's 2 white dice at range 3, but you got sharpshooter, you got the bolter in there, and crossbow. And then you also have, I have a 1 unit of phase 1s with RPS. So if you throw that fire support in there, that's a pretty hefty dice pool you could toss out there. I'm thinking more along the lines of like if I have to worry about a speeder coming at me.
Did you have any vehicles to worry about that?
Not in that game. Okay. So that's one thing that I think with my list that I have to kind of consider going forward is I don't have a lot to answer for the vehicle meta.
Yeah, that's something we had talked about a little bit. And outside of that one RPS that you kind of shoehorned in there, the way you're getting it to be set up, though, I think it could be really effective. I'm just curious, if you see something that's armor heavy, how you're going to do, or you're going to have to do like Dan's opponent did and just kind of disengage, walk away, and leave it alone.
Well, with Yoda's command cards, you have to kind of play them sequentially, and he's got the 3-pip, which allows him to do order tokens for everybody, and then that range 3 exemplar, where he also starts with 2 aims, 2 dodges, and 2 surges. So on that turn, you can really get a lot of mileage out of that force support, or that fire supported range Wookiee squad. Thing is, you can only do it on that 3-pip turn, but if you play the sequence right, you can do 3-2-1, 3-2-3 in a 6-turn game. So you're going to get 3 turns where you'll have that 3-pip card out there to get that mileage out of it. And then you're playing that 2-pip card twice, which gives you Relentless and gives another unit Relentless. So that's going to mean that same unit can also move and fire without having to waste an action.
That sounds really good. When are you going to get another game in?
I'm actually going to try tomorrow.
Okay.
So I think Colby and I are looking at setting a game up tomorrow. He was the other droid player. You haven't played him yet, have you?
Not yet. I mean, I played him previously to the league.
Yeah.
But I haven't played him in a league game yet.
So everything I'm doing right now, I'm just, brainstorming stuff. This could fall flat on his face when I actually get it on the table.
I mean, with a kind of a league setup and, everything's being looked at with fresh eyes now, I think this is the time to get in and do your little experimenting. So you can leave it to like the day before you do your list submission for LVO.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I guess this is what I'm playing now. So,
it's a similar concept to what people have thrown out there with that the Padme Yoda saber tank build. There's a list that's kind of been floating around. Timbo from the 5th Trooper. Mm-hmm. He wrote an article up about this a while back because he'd gotten 2nd place with a Padme saber tank list pre RRG or pre the update.
The update, yeah.
And it was called the Saber Tank Go Brr. And he had done really well with it by doing the exemplar standby sharing. But with Yoda, there is on those 3-pip turns, you can actually shoot that saber tank up to 4 times in a turn.
That's gross.
Yeah.
That's just gross.
I hate and love everything you just said. Yeah, that is.
It has to be
spicy.
short range. It has to be a range 2 for it to go off because you can't put Overwatch.
So cram it forward. Okay.
Yeah, basically. But that's a big base, and that's a range 2 area denial that your opponent has to essentially either respect or face the withering firepower of 4 shots.
Jesus.
Yeah, so there's a lot of play with that. Keegan really brought that up last time with the exemplar sharing.
Yeah.
About how the Republic's not dead. I just think that they have to just change the way that they're playing.
You got to recalibrate a little bit.
Yeah, so I expect exemplar to be a big thing, and I think Yoda has a lot of play with that.
Okay. Well, good. Sounds good, guys. I'm sure we'll be checking in as you get more games in, but we're going to take a short break right now, and we're going to talk about, not quite a holiday guide, but things that might be worth picking up now. Be right back. Hey guys, Matt here to tell you about our friends over at 6UP Supply. If you're like me and don't have access to your own 3D printers, 6UP Supply has you covered with a whole suite of printing services to bring those awesome files to life. The Outriders are proud to be partnered with 6UP, and you could find special themed terrain, gear, and tokens with a big discount for Patreon members in the Outriders Central section of the website. And that's not all. You can also get terrain bases, game supplies, tools, LED kits, and more. Stuff is being added all the time. So stop by the number 6upsupply.com and use coupon code OUTRIDER to save 10% on your next order, and let them help you up your game.
You are receiving the Legion Outriders podcast. Ending the transmission now would be most unfortunate. And now, the Outriders.
Welcome back, Outriders. John, Matt, and Dan sitting down here. And what is that? The faint sound of carolers in the distance? The crackling Yule log? Is it time for another holiday episode?
Life Day?
Is it Life Day time?
Yes. Life Day.
I was about to
Well,
say
Life
yes.
Day is coming.
Which
it
yes.
actually is gone
It was 2
already.
weeks ago.
Yeah, it was 2
it
weeks
happened.
ago. Yeah, we in our last break, yes, the anniversary of Life Day did come around. And did you press your robes, or did you get your robes?
I have my robes starched, heavy starch each year. So, but one of the things, so Legion's been out for a little bit now, a couple years, you might have noticed,
Yeah, it's a little time.
which has created certain backlogs, especially with until recently, unpopular units. So there are some deals to be had for units that have been boxes that have been revitalized, we shall say, with the points adjustments and things like that. And we've definitely had our eyes on a couple of them. Dan, I think you've got the most copious list here, being the Empire player. Why don't you kick us off? What do you think is the some of the stuff that people should give a second look now?
Well, a lot of things have been buffed in Empire, of course. I mean, with Vader, everyone's already got their core box Vader, but Operative Vader has been shown to be way better. Well, maybe not way better, but a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for? Powerful, yes.
Fully operational.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm-
okay.
But yeah, if you haven't picked up an Operative Vader box, not only for the better card, but the sculpt is like a factor of 10 better than the core.
It is a much better sculpt.
No, believe me, when I've got that sculpt, I immediately retired my core box Vader sculpt.
Oh, old softy Vader.
Well, they're both softy, but even given that
Are they?
they're both soft plastic. Yeah.
Oh, I don't have Op Vader, so
Oh well.
Matt's got the
maybe
fancy...
I need to go get one.
Oh, you have the event
Yeah,
Vader.
That's true, I do.
You have the Celebration Vader in
I've
Rising.
got Resin Vader, so you can look at it if you like.
Yeah, it's in the glass case at the store. I know,
Is
right?
it? I thought I brought it home.
did you bring it home?
Yeah, I think I brought it home.
No.
John painted it for me,
painted it.
so yeah.
It was a treat to paint.
Yeah, so if you haven't picked up Op Vader yet and you're planning on running Empire, he's hot. And to go along with him, of course.
See what you did there.
Yes. Mustafar hot. But anyway, Dewbacks, I mean, they were good before. They only got better.
Were they?
Yeah.
Were
they were seeing a lot of play even before the RRG.
Okay, good.
Especially
You're
tied
right.
in with
They were
Vader.
they were showing up at a lot of
Yeah.
events.
I think, honestly, dewbacks were always good. They just didn't play into what the meta was. When you
That
have
might
a
be fair.
gunline meta, they're not good. When you have a very aggressive melee meta like we're in right now, oh yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, those should be on some Amazon clearance. But you were just telling me what you saw on Amazon. Scout Trooper boxes.
Scout Troopers, like $20, yeah. I mean, and obviously, if you can find them cheaper at your friendly local game store or around the same price, buy it from them.
Oh yes, always support
We're
your
not
friendly
being-
local game
We're not
store.
being paid by Bezos.
As much as we'd like to be. But anyway,
Yeah.
but
Use
yeah,
some of that
of
Amazon
course,
money.
I picked up 3 Scout Trooper boxes when they released. But guess what units I've only ever built and which ones are not painted?
I think you probably like most people in that regard.
So I've got literally my 3 snipers buddies painted and built and everything, and all of my normal scouts are still just primered only, not based.
Yeah.
In my storage bin, so I'm actually going to have to crank those back out and see.
Yeah, I love the Scout Troopers too.
Yeah.
They're just such an iconic unit from the third, movie 6, I guess, Return of the Jedi. But would you actually have the heavy kit? Because I've been hearing people talk about just using them for their pew pew pistols and run them as a full squad.
I mean, at the same cost as a strike team, having just the 4 naked squad or naked plus duck and cover. It's just an annoying little either objective grabber or flanker, or you get close to me, you're going to get,
I was gonna say,
black dice up the...
8 black dice at range 2 is nothing to shrug your shoulders at.
with so much Scout. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yes. So much scout, many black dice. Wow.
Yeah, I mean they're hard to hit. I mean the amount of resources you have to put into getting at them, it's not worth the points. I mean their activation padding. There's lots of things to like about it. The only thing that makes it tough is they may be taking up a special forces slot you'd rather use on IRG or special forces or something like that. So or ISF. So.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Because Death Troopers got real popular again.
They're still a little pricey.
You think?
Inferno is the hotness value.
Oh, okay.
At 88
Yeah.
or 92 with offensive push.
So a competitive slot, but if you don't
very-
have a lot of points to spend, that
Yeah.
might be a
No,
good
I've-
alternative.
I've currently got snipers in my current Infiltrator list, but I am seriously considering switching them out for just the naked squads. The only reason I haven't yet in League is because we did have to lock our lists in for the entire League, but
Yeah.
it's something definitely on the experimentation.
Nice. Would you like to guess what my choice is for this slot right now? Would you?
Oh,
Would you like to guess? Would you please guess?
Well, I wouldn't like to guess, but I'm going to anyway.
Okay, please.
I'm going to say T-47.
T-47. Nailed it. Wow, what a surprise. It is a vehicle meta. It's a vehicle that deals with vehicles. You can get them because it's one of the first launch units, so there are just backlogs of them everywhere. So I'm sure you could probably pick them up for, pennies on the dollar, at least maybe dimes or something. But I think they're fantastic. You don't have one already for your Rebel players. It's a great addition and a whole lot of fun to play. So
And if you're one of those people who's like tired of assembling like persuader tanks where they have a million little pieces and you might need like an engineering degree to actually figure it out, I think the T-47 was like 3 pieces.
it had a little bit of fiddly bits in there, but no, I see what you're saying there for
the
sure.
little flappy doos were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
bits
that's
on them, but yeah.
basically it. It's like that, like the weapons you attach to it
Yeah.
and the stand. And that's basically
Yeah,
it.
I think it might be a total of like 8 pieces there. Yeah,
really
with
nice.
the clamshell.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, if you're building your T-47s, though, make sure you check the orientation on the guns. I haven't seen it lately, but back when they first launched, I saw so many pictures of the guns on upside down.
upside down. Yeah.
You're
Nobody's
the
gonna
only
notice
person
that
that's
except
going
for
to
you,
buy
Dan.
This isn't movie accurate.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm very detail oriented.
John, how about you? What do you got on your list?
Oh man! All right. Well, if we're gonna go like originals trilogy factions here,
Hey, you can go whatever you want.
well,
It's
I
just-
mean, Fleet Troopers got a boost with the the AA5 coming out.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I think that they have a lot more playability. Also, if you're kind of looking for a good linebacker unit, if like we talked about, aggressive melee meta, nothing really does better against a charge of Wookiees than 20 dice from a unit of Fleet Troopers with
a
Pierce.
torrent of dice. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, Fleet Troopers are always fun to play. I've always enjoyed using them, and they got a little bit of a boost. And again, you can find them cheap in a lot of places. So
You just like their snappy vests
that too.
and,
Yeah.
and the bike helmets.
Our boy Han Solo, my bookie.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
He was one of the original $11
Yeah.
figures, and I'm sure there's probably a lot of a backlog of those too, because he's really never been a powerful unit, and he may not be S tier right now, but he's still definitely more playable.
Yeah,
than he
he's
was
up
before.
there. Yeah, he was definitely he was an option back when there weren't very many
Mm-hmm.
options, so people played him, and then people quickly forgot about him after, especially Leia and other ones came out that kind of took the spotlight away. And he did have some issues, performance wise. That's shh. This is a place of healing. Okay, so, but no, I know our buddy Jeff has been getting a lot of reps in with him, and just
yes.
glowing about the reports on there. He's just dropping fools left and right. But so speaking of Fleet Troopers, there was a mirror unit that came out at the same time with the Snow Troopers, and I've been seeing Snow Troopers been popping up a little bit more too. Dan, have you gotten anything on those?
Yeah, I mean what assuming is going to be the prevalence of droids coming in the near future, even though the ion gun isn't really top tier, it's a good inexpensive because the price drops on it are crazy.
Is it middle tier?
Yeah,
Lower middle tier.
But as just a relatively inexpensive drop in core unit, drop the snows, drop an ion. It's actually one of the few ways you can get ion 2 on a unit, because if you put droid poppers on them, it stacks with the ion gun.
Oh,
So, yeah, if you want just a little hedge anti-vehicle, anti-droid unit, I mean, it's not a bad choice.
I think that the flamethrower was always like the de facto choice
yeah.
with the Snow Troopers, but I think we're in like the low point of the flamethrower. I think because
I mean, again, with droids coming out again, having 8 unit squads running at you, flamers are also potential on
but
that.
that's really the only unit that they're viable against right now. Because Wookiees, they're not great against Wookiees.
No, they're not great against Wookiees.
I mean, they're terrible against dewbacks. They won't do anything against vehicles. So
Yeah. I think that the threat of the flamethrower is always way more than it actually was. Like, occasionally you'd get those one games like, oh, yeah, I got the ATRT, just flamed everybody, they're all dead. But looking back over all the games, usually, that's got a flamethrower. Guess what? That's getting all of my attention until it goes away. If it threatens anything, or you'd try to get it in a matchup where it didn't matter. It's like, okay, a flamethrower versus Darth Vader. Sure, singe my already blackened armor here. That's fine. It's not going to do much.
Like, I've seen this before.
All right, so I got a dark horse pick for Black Friday deals here.
Lay it on me.
See what I did there? Black Friday dark horse.
No, I didn't.
Specialist upgrade packs.
Oh yes.
So almost across the board, all the specialist upgrades saw price decreases or points decreases.
Yeah.
Droids are especially a perfect example of that. Droids, the naked droid unit went up 2 points, but all of their upgrade weapons went down 2. So, you want to try to bring that rad gun in there. You want to try to bring, what was the other one that came with it? The
sniper.
The sniper weapon. All those specialist upgrade packs are pretty cheap because, I think I want to say it was like $15 to $20 for the most part for any of them. So,
yeah, I
mean, I know you bought a lot of them.
Well, I brought it for another reason, but even so, the Stormtrooper upgrade packs, the weapons in it were dropped. The specialists, like it's 1 point more than a naked guy. Why not take the specialist?
Right.
And a lot of them, they're versatile kits. You can build them as standard core troopers if you'd rather just have some variety of.
Or
poses.
just build them as your entire stormtrooper army.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, we were talking about sculpts earlier. The sculpt quality is just a factor of 10 more than this core box. So.
Well, I think they're all plastic, right?
They're also, and for being soft plastic, they're still way better. It was one of the last soft plastic kits out there.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Plus, I mean, if you're a Rebel player, it's the only way you can get an Ithorian head.
Yeah.
And who doesn't want a whole unit of Ithorians, right?
Yo.
Or just aliens in general.
Tactically, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have a guy whose head sticks up above everybody else. But
if they could do like the sonic boom or something like that, like in some of the expanded universe, that would be kind of cool. But
and then they all like communicate telepathically, so it's like having built-in long distance comms, long range comms.
Are we just making up in homebrew?
I'm just making up rules as we go here. None of this is actually playable rules here.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so definitely a lot of options, obviously, because Rebels and Empire were out. They've been out longer. Anything else kind of maybe on the like the Republic side of things that might be worth a second look now, especially with the shake up to how the sharing of tokens and all that kind of stuff goes for the clones.
Well, if you want to buy stuff cheap because people aren't buying it anymore, I mean, you might be able to find some Captain Rexes out there, some ARC Troopers, because I think their stock went down quite a bit.
Oh, wow. Okay, so...
Actually, what are your thoughts on picking up the original Wookiee box? I'm sure those are getting clearance out there.
Yeah, well, if you're a Republic player, it's not going to help you a whole lot.
Just get some sculpt variety.
Yeah,
if you want to
get some
sculpt
variety for sure. Yeah, I mean,
are you saying all Wookiees look the same?
I mean, as somebody who has already 3 of the original boxes and has had a nightmare trying to get the new ones, but
how is your Royal Mounted Canadian delivery service?
Oh, well, it was delivered last Friday.
Oh,
according
that's good.
to the Las Vegas post office. How that's actually working, I currently have a claims and that I have to go through international claims because if you're listening and you're from the Las Vegas post office, I have beef with you.
I'm sure that's of that Venn diagram of people that listen to our podcast and those who work for our local post office. I'm sure there's not a lot of
they're
overlap.
talking about me.
I'm looking at you, Steve. Coming for you.
Well, hopefully that'll get resolved because I know you want your Wooks.
Yeah. But luckily, the people I've been playing have been cool about letting me proxy the battle shields. So.
Oh yeah, our entire league, we just made it open, like proxy whatever. Anything that's legal for LVO is good for the league. So.
Yeah, but I want a variety of sculpts. That's the chief reason I was buying them, so I can get a whole bunch.
Yeah, well, that's good. Any other last ones that might be kind of slipping on the radar? I mean, of course, all the old stuff you probably have surplus in stock. That ATSTs.
Yeah, I was just about to bring up the ATST.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure most Empire players have one because it's a great,
one.
Yeah, I know. Most
outta here.
newer Empire players may only pick up one.
Oh, okay.
Just because, it's a big unit. It has a lot of board presence. If you're doing demo games, highly recommended to use that because it draws a lot of attention to the table. It might be worth picking up a second with all the buffs to the ATSD and Weiss. Yes. Yeah.
Hey, go buy Boba and Bosk because they're probably easy to find right now. Nobody's running them, and I bet you they're going to get a lot better once they put those rules out for bounty hunters.
Oh, that's
yeah.
a good point. Yeah, hedge your bets against the future there.
Buy low, sell high.
Shadow
That's
Collective comes out, then they're definitely going to revamp.
That's a good call. Yeah,
Because I think there's a specific reason you didn't see any changes to Boba or Bosk.
because they're just going to be.
Boba got dropped 5 points, but
Did he?
yeah.
I mean, not
But no
enough
one's
to
like-
make him playable.
Yeah, exactly.
Like nobody, I don't even remember seeing that.
Let's be fair; it's all playable.
Yeah,
Just
well,
is it
fair.
the best chance? I don't know.
But yeah, I expect them to be a lot better coming up soon. So buy low, sell high. You probably find some packs of them right now.
Speaking of, what about occupier tanks?
It's
Still
compared
not
to
your
the
favorite?
ATSD, it's well, yeah, it's not my favorite, and general consensus out there, it's kind of mid-low tier,
Okay.
at least compared to the ATSD and its buffs right now.
The Palpmobile?
Yeah, which there's still strong uses of it, of putting an E-web in the back, putting a full thing of scouts in the back,
Yeah, actually, right now
so
would
with
be
the
really
low
well.
profile, so they
Yep.
get permanent cover 3
Yep.
in the back, and throwing 8 to 10 black dice if you throw the sniper, or if you throw the saboteur in there and just throwing bombs out of the tank, using the tank base for range. It's
Hey.
there's uses there, but it's not. I doesn't really feel like it's catching on at the moment.
X-34. Pick yourself up a little land speeder.
I actually would like to get a second one of those.
Well, you get one of those, you throw in R2-D2, and you put Shriv as the pilot. That's a nasty little combination.
Plus, you get access to the greatest hero of the rebellion,
Who's that?
Spleemo Magnet. Bud.
Oh my God.
Oh my, come
How
on.
have I forgotten about Spleemo?
How could you forget about Spleemo? You no longer sit with Spleemo?
Oh, I always sit with Spleemo.
Oh, okay.
He's still got a
Just wanna make
magnet
sure.
in his butt.
In his butt.
Or was it the other Daniel local here, Daniel Recco? He plays Duel.
He's been playing them like crazy.
and he keeps borrowing someone else's
I
to do
don't
his
know
second.
why he won't just buy the second one. Daniel Areco, go buy a second X-34. You've been playing that list like 20 times. I've got beef with you, sir.
Because
What if he works at the post office?
Are we doing the airing of grievances now? Is this
This is a
Festivus
Festivus
episode?
miracle, yeah.
Time for the feats of strength.
Because we played him at the store. He asks the store to open the case, and he borrows the.
Oh, yeah, he's
painted one.
always
Yeah.
using my fully painted Spleemo magnet butt X-34. Yeah.
Limited edition. Carbonized collector. Yeah.
Oh man, so yeah, definitely check out or go out there and look for deals because there are definitely deals to be had.
Speaking of deals, so this is something I haven't actually put in a list yet, but something I keep toying with and I think would be a perfect time. Droidicas. Droidicas languished on the shelves.
Yeah, but the spider droids, man.
Yeah, God, spider droids are gonna be good. Totally different topic.
So not
but
not even worth, because spider droids are just going to overshadow them, huh?
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
if we're
you
going
might
into
be
a
right
vehicle
there.
meta,
Yeah.
the spider droids are going to mop the
I love
vehicles.
droidicas though. I want them to be
Oh yeah, as
just everywhere.
as a concept, the aesthetic,
Yeah.
the love for the droidica.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
it's there.
They
but-
chased away Jedi. I mean, how awesome is that?
I fully expect that the vehicle meta will drop once spider droids become prevalent. And maybe then, the droidicas will be back.
Can you sing us a little song about spider droids?
I don't know any songs about
Spider
spiders.
droids.
Oh, spider. I feel like there's a copyright infringement
Oh,
on
that's
that.
a good point. Let's stop.
Even head to head, the Ion spiders just destroy droidicas with their just take out their shields, ionize them. It's not pretty.
You thinking about playing them? Perhaps you've got your eye on them.
I got 2 of them on pre-order.
Womp
They should
womp.
be in today.
Oh, really?
Spider droids, yeah.
From Canada?
No, from USNA.
Oh, okay, good.
Because
That's cool.
there's supposed to be the one wave dropping today.
Oh, okay.
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
What is all supposed to be dropping?
The Fluttercraft and the
That's
Spider
right.
Droid are supposed to be out today.
I thought it was the super attack and the spider droid.
I think it's all 3.
All 3.
Yeah.
I think all 3 of those, and I think 2 weeks from now it's supposed to be the Magna Guard, the infantry support platform, and I think that's it. Oh, and the Persuader tank. Those are all supposed to be out in 2 weeks. And then Yoda and Wookiees are question mark?
Yeah, very questionable.
Ever, maybe?
I don't know. I'm not really. There's not too many releases coming out that got me super excited for Rebels because I like the list I've got. Unless there was some like kind of crazy variant with like a bomber T-47 or something like that, with giant like detachable bombs at the bottom, which is not a thing.
I mean, we can 3D print something if you want to hobby yours up. But...
Ooh, can we do like some tiger shark teeth on it, John?
I think Rebels and Empire are in a good place because there's a lot of internal balance. So I think there's still a lot to be explored with these rules changes.
For sure.
So as somebody who plays Rebels a lot, I still think that there's a good room to adjust your lists with the new RRG. I don't know that they need a lot of new stuff yet.
Yeah. I still want to play around with Commandos some more still, too.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, any last minute thoughts on that one, Dan?
No.
No? Okay, I think we covered everything.
Yep.
Yeah, going out there, might as well fill out that wish list. Let people know, hey, if somebody was to get me a box of Wookiee Warriors from Canada or something.
I still need them.
Yeah. But anyways, that's going to about do it for this week's episode, guys. As always, big thanks to our Patreon supporters that keep us flying, keep us recording and all that. John, where can people find you?
I am on Instagram at Outrider_John, JOHN.
Mr. Dan?
And I'm out on the Discord as Outrider Dan or DanTech, and usually hanging out in your streams.
Well, thank you, Dan. Yes, you can find me on twitch.tv/Captain_Archer or on Twitter at GRN_Archer. Don't forget to stop by the Facebook page for Legion Outriders. And if you would like to support the show, patreon.com/Legion Outriders. Anyways, we'll see you next time, guys. Happy holidays.
This concludes the current episode of the Legion Outriders podcast. You may cultivate a tactical advantage by observing the Outriders on Facebook or Twitter at Legion Outriders. Wisdom advocates subscribing to the podcast. Acting otherwise is reckless.